Marriage rights for women in the United States have continued to grow since the 1850s. As early as 1823, Maine granted property ownership rights to women deserted by their husbands, and Massachusetts followed with a similar law in 1835. However, no state where married women living with their husbands allowed ownership of property either willed to them or earned by them. When women married, her property was placed under the absolute control of her husband. Many women, especially daughters of large plantation owners, lost all of their property and thus financial security when their husbands fell on hard times. Mississippi was the first state in the nation to grant married women the right to hold property and control property in their own names. One of the most notable state laws that dealt with the issue of property rights was the Married Women's Property Act in New York, which passed in 1848. The law let women keep their property gained from before and during a marriage. Many states soon followed suit and made their own laws dealing with their own property rights. Every state since has had some sort of property law by the end of the century. Now that women finally have property rights in marriage, it was time for more action in regards to abusive relationships. Ever since there have been marriage, there have been women who have been abused in marriage relationships.
Now, women have had a hard lot, I will admit it. Historically, every civilization at some point or another in its history has been abusive to women. Abusive to women. Older than the scriptures themselves is abuse to women. Then when people take scriptures and use them to justify abuse, it only intensifies abuse, as they did with slavery, as they do with women. They use the scriptures to justify making the woman a slave until all of a sudden society rebels against abuse.
The wife was indeed a slave when it came to marriage, for there was no rape if you were married. Marital rape was a new law that occurs when your spouse forces you to take part in certain sex acts without your consent. It's a form of intimate partner violence, an abuse of power by which one spouse attempts to establish dominance and control over the other. Sadly, until 1976, marital rape was legal in every state in the United States. Although marital rape is now a crime in all 50 states in the United States, some states still don't consider marital rape as a serious form of rape. The U.S. Congress has passed two main laws related to violence against women, the Violence Against Women Act and the Family Violence Prevention and Service Act. The VAWA of 1994 created a huge change. Between 1993 and 2010, the rate of intimate partner violence declined by 67%. Today, 3 to 4 million women in the United States are beaten in their homes each year by their husbands, ex-husbands, or male lovers.
The Lovings didn't know that it was a crime for a white person to marry a Negro in Virginia. They found out the hard way.
The night we were arrested, I guess it was about 2 a.m. And I saw this light, and I woke up, and it was the policeman standing beside the bed. And he told us to get up, that we was under arrest.
Today, the United States Supreme Court handed down a decision. The Lovings ordeal is at last over. Richard and Mildred Loving have won the right to be man and wife, father and mother in the state of Virginia. Anti-miscegenation laws have been declared illegal not only in Virginia, but in all 16 states that have held such statutes.
The Loving v. Virginia Supreme Court case ruled that anti-interracial laws for marriage was deemed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. The map here shows the dates of repeal for U.S. anti-interracial laws state by state. The grays have always allowed it, with states such as Wisconsin, New York, and Minnesota. The green, 1887, the yellow, 1948 to 1967, and the red only let interracial marriages happen after the Loving v. Virginia case. So as you can see, marriage rights in the United States has continued to grow for women since the birth of our country. However, in 1973, Maryland became the first state to define marriage as a union of one man and one woman, making same-sex marriage illegal. In 1982, Wisconsin became the first state to outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation. 20 other states eventually followed suit. Between 2004 and 2006, 21 states passed constitutional amendments banning gay marriage. In 1995, Utah passes a law prohibiting same-sex marriage. More than 30 other states will follow suit with the DOMA, Defense of the Marriage Laws. In 2012, Maine, Maryland, and Washington become the first states where voters legalized gay marriage, showing that the people are ready for change. By 2013, a total of 12 states legalized gay marriage, along with the District of Columbia. Illinois and Hawaii have also added to this.
Marriage rights for women in the United States have come a long way since the 1800s. Owning property, protecting themselves from harm, and now being able to marry whoever they choose. We still have a long way to go though, but the future looks bright.